Yo, what's up, guys? Y'all video win today, man. Come to you guys and reacting to the first win of the NFL season for my New England Patriots. We end up going 1-0. I'm doing a little voiceover as I'm in this video because I realized that I was muted, but the rest of the video is unmuted, thankfully. But being honest, this is absolutely hype. Gerard Mayo wins his first career game which is just absolutely amazing, and you just absolutely love to see it with a 16-10 dub over the Bengals. The run game was phenomenal. Mondre, Keon White, the defense, the fumble recoveries. I did not know whether we were going to win a game this season. If we were going to win a game this season, and we ended up winning the first game of the season against the Bengals of all teams, a very good team. Sheesh. Let's go Pats, baby.
All right, so I have so much I want to get into this game, but first, before we do that, let's just run it back with the Ramondre Stevenson dagger touchdown. And as somebody who is not a mathematician, I'm looking at Mondre get this. I'm like, why are you celebrating? Because they were gonna kneel, and the game was basically over. All we needed was a first down, 2nd and 7. Ramondre Stevenson, the man that just got paid 4 years, $36 million. Missed the last 5 games of last season, comes back, and what does Mondre do? 2nd and 7. This is the play to put the dagger in the chest of Bengals fan. What does Mondre do? Gets the ball from Jacoby Brissett. Would have went down right there with that tackle, number 29. He goes past that, stays on his legs, and then gets down a couple of yards after getting the first down. Shout out to Ramondre Stevenson. He and Keon White, in my opinion, just had some phenomenal plays. Keon White had 2 sacks in the first quarter, 2.5 towards the end of the game. He got a huge, I believe, half sack. I forgot. I'll look into it who else credited the other half sack. On Joe Burrow in that 4th quarter. Marcus Jones, he had multiple good tackles at cornerback. I'm not a big fan of Marcus Jones at cornerback because he's small. And a couple of years ago against the Raiders, we had this 4th down play, and he gave up that play. Ever since then, I haven't been a big fan of him at CB. But now he's in the slot with Jonathan Jones and Christian Gonzalez at points, Marco Wilson, and so far and so forth. But we got to talk about, like I said, Keon White, 2.5 sacks. We wondered who was the Patriots edge rusher with that. Matthew Judon, no Christian Barmore because unfortunately he had blood clots. Judon obviously is now in the Falcons. I was watching a business piece of the Falcons game. I saw him get a nice tackle on 3rd down. I'm like, my heart seeing Judon on the Falcons jersey. And now back to Keon White. 2 sacks in that first quarter. The dude looked like an absolute stud. Let's just be honest. Keon White looks like an absolute stud. Ramondre Stevenson on the run game was phenomenal. Didn't see as much Antonio Gibson as I really expected to see because Ramondre just, he had it. As a betting man, I had it to Prize Picks. I locked the Ramondre Stevenson over 49.5, 51.5 rushing yards earlier yesterday and earlier today as well. Absolute free money. Ramondre Stevenson, the run game, the Patriots are run first offense. The pass game is still a work in progress, which is why I believe that Drake May will eventually end up starting, especially since Jacoby Brissett took a couple of big hits today. The pass game was not it. It was really just the defense. Go out and do your thing, and then run game. Massive fumbles recovered. Shout out to I'll get into it all of my notes. I know I remember Joe Cardona, Kyle Duggar. Shout out to them guys for stripping the ball from them. From the Bengals are getting fumbles. The Bengals had 2 fumbles all last season. They had 2 today, and Burrow almost had one as well, but they recovered it. And they had one with a tight end initially, then one with Charlie Jones in terms of the special teams. But let me get into my notes and break everything down. Vidarian Lowe came into the game. Instantly got a flag coming in for Tusa Okorafor. Vidarian Lowe, man. People have been talking high about Vidarian Lowe's character. He's been pretty good in training camp. But Vidarian Lowe, man, you cannot get into the game in your first play and be a flag. We gotta be for real, bro. We gotta be for real. Duggar strips the ball on the play that clears Nation like a touchdown after the Jasicki touchdown got reversed and on Duggar, and Marcus Jones recovers the ball on that as well. So it was right corner. I was about to say we paid Kyle Duggar a transition tag. Then we gave him a natural contract so he doesn't end up leaving eventually. And he gives up a touchdown right corner of the back of the end zone of Mike Jasicki. Joe Burrow throws the ball high. Jasicki brings it down. He does that most just the biggest troll gritty ever. Justin Jefferson has an elite gritty, so does Jamar Chase. No mean to glaze, but then Jasicki has this it's like Gesicki touchdown, Mac Jones touchdown, Justin Jefferson touchdown, Jamar Chase touchdown. Like, with all due respect, thankfully that play got reversed. Duggar pops the ball out of, I forgot who it was, and Marcus Jones ends up recovering, taking a couple of yards out. Jacoby Brissett, he had a couple of high misses to Austin Hooper. He obviously, early on in the first game, he really wanted to get the ball to Austin Hooper, and he missed a couple of high throws. Obviously, the Browns connection with him, Alex Van Pelt, a couple of other guys as well on the Patriots offensive staff. Demario Douglas, Jalen Polk, and Javon Baker combined for one singular reception in the first half. And it was to Demario Douglas. Polk got his first catch for like 5.5 yards. I didn't even see Javon Baker out there. Maybe I just didn't see. Maybe he wasn't out there. Maybe I just didn't see him. I believe our leading receiver today was Tyquan Thornton, and he didn't even have that many yards. This was a run-heavy game today for the New England Patriots. Joey Slye missed a 32-yard field goal to end the first half. I had PTSD of Chad Rollins, so whenever somebody goes ahead and makes or attempts to hit a field goal, I'm there like, this is not like automatic. I mean, from like 40 yards and below, that should be automatic for an NFL kicker. Not for Chad Ryland, not for the tank commander Chad Ryland, who will be a New England legend if Drake May ends up panning out for the Patriots, which hopefully we see sooner rather than later, because it wasn't really a great game for Jacoby Brissett. You obviously like to have the veteran in it for at least the first couple of weeks, but he just doesn't have the arm. I do like how he's able to extend plays. That just wasn't the MO with guys like Mac Jones, who was just an absolute statue. You can't really be a statue and not be able to have great throws. I mean, he was a good passer. He wasn't a great passer. You can't be a awful runner and a good passer. That's a low ceiling. That's why Mac Jones felt like pick 15 and the Bears jumped us for Justin Fields. Like, it's just not it. Now, the Patriots had a 3-and-out. They deferred after getting the opening toss, and we end up recovering the fumble after Charlie Jones fumbled. Shout out to the long snapper Joey Cardona stripping the ball out of Charlie Jones's hands, I guess. And what's it called? Jalen Hawkins ends up recovering, the former Falcon. Shout out to him. And then right on that drive, right after doing that, the Patriots did not waste that turnover. Joey Slye ended up making a 35-yard field goal on that drive. I believe that was maybe going into halftime, if I'm not mistaken. Jonathan Jones gets a huge, and I mean a huge tackle on 4th and 2 on Andre Iosivas. Like, they said it so many times on the commentary that I almost like forgot it. Yosivas? I believe it was Yosivas. Andre Yosivas. Obviously, no T. Higgins. Jamar Chase today was limited, but he hit a couple of nice plays on Chris Gonzalez. Coming to this game, I was like, Gonzo, what do you have in you? They've been talking down to you training camp. You've been getting kind of beat, maybe not going game speed. Let's see what Gonzo's talking about. I'll be honest with you guys, it wasn't anything to write home about today for Gonzo, in my opinion. I saw a couple of plays where Jamar Chase had a couple of not big plays on him, but he had a couple of big plays, but he had a couple of nice plays. I don't know why. I also coming down today to my notes as well. Why was Juwan Bentley on Jamar Chase multiple times? Like, that's just like not a good matchup for a linebacker. Like, I don't want anybody but a corner, maybe a safety on Jamar Chase, because he's one of the fastest players in football. And this is a guy playing for a new contract, so he has that extra motivation, maybe. So, yeah, that's just my whole thing on that. Jacoby Brissett did take a big hit from Logan Wilson on 3rd and 3. And then right after punting the ball, we had a really good tackle initially by Jelani Tavai, and British Schooler ends up wrapping the punt returner up. And then Marco Wilson gets a pass interference on, I just said his name, Yosivas, I believe. I'm going to keep saying it wrong, so my bad. Pass interference on him. Obviously, the former Cardinal, he just came over last season, last season, at the end of the season, because the Patriots were just signing anybody at CB at that point. We kind of have like a CB factory, if you will. And right on that drive, I believe Zach Moss gets the touchdown. Just a really good drive with the Bengals, capped off by a missed tackle from the former Falcon, Jalen Hawkins. And then I also mentioned there's multiple plays where Jacoby Brissett just extended a play, which is just forward. So we got like a Mac Jones on like 3rd down, at 2nd down, with short yardage to go. Just the ability to go ahead and just extend the play. Just extend the play. And he's a big guy. I didn't realize how big Jacoby Brissett was, because remember the last time he was on the Patriots, I don't think he was this big. Like, obviously watching him interact with the He had stints obviously with the Commanders last season, prior with the Dolphins, with the Colts. Obviously, we traded him to there, and just the Browns. He's kind of been around the block, so I didn't realize just how big he was, but he can absorb these big hits. He's not a frail quarterback that, I mean, he is injury prone at the end of the day, but I digress. And then Joey Sly ends up making a 37-yard field goal right after the Zach Moss touchdown, which was just absolutely huge. And then Jawan Bentley guarding Jamar Chase, and he gets a 28-yard catch. Like, no shit. Like, why is Jawan Bentley guarding Jamar Chase? Like, I just don't like that matchup. I don't like a linebacker guarding Jamar Chase. Especially motivated Jamar Chase looking for a new contract and looking to become the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history. Yeah, so that was just questionable in my opinion. And then Keon White with a huge sack on Joe Burrow. That is what you just absolutely love to see. He was credited with a half a sack. After this, I'll get to the stats and I'll see who else was credited with a sack as well outside of Keon White. And then Ramondre Stevenson with the dagger. Just that whole drive by him, I was like, please, Mondre, please save us from Ramondre Stevenson. Just keep getting us for that. Because remember, a couple years back, 2022, we get the Bengals. I believe this was potentially in New England, maybe in Cincinnati, might have been in Cincinnati. We had a chance to win a game, one score game. Ramondre Stevenson in the red zone fumbles for the Patriots. We lose that game. I don't know what it is about the Patriots early season games fumbling. I remember a couple of years back against the Dolphins, Damian Harris fumbled. I remember it was on the right end zone. I don't know why I remember that so vividly, but shout out to Damian Harris. He's now obviously retired, if you guys didn't know by now. Unfortunately, I think injuries just ate him up. But yeah, that was all I had. I think I'm going to start doing more of those notes to go ahead and just remember, because I'm watching a lot of other games as well on my second monitor right here, my first monitor right here. So I want to, when I see things, I want to go ahead and point them out so I don't forget. And I can remember to go ahead and write those down right over there. So, yeah. But other than that, now let's just get into the stats of the Patriots. Let's go ahead and just break this whole thing down. Because I, for one, am absolutely stunned that the Patriots went ahead and won this game. Let's start off the Patriots offense. Jacoby Brissett, 15-24 today, 121 yards. He got sacked one time. Again, solid Brissett game. I'll be honest. The O-line wasn't really as bad as I expected it to be. I mean, we got, was it one flag all game? I don't know if I wrote down I don't know. I didn't write down every single flag that happened, but when I did the Vidarian Low from then on out, I would. So I got the Marco Wilson, but I don't think we got many flags. We might have gotten like 2 flags max, but Scott Peters with the strike system, the O-line cooking. I mean, we had the rookie Layden Robinson at the especially at the end of the game. We had rookie Caden Wallace. He was kind of just that extra O-line protector, and we went ahead and did our thing. Coming to this game, I've been listening to Patriots and Bengals, and the Bengals reporters, they were talking about the fact that the Bengals struggled against the run as a betting man. I knew that, but I did not know that they would struggle also coming into this season. And yes, the Bengals' rush defense is a huge question mark still at this very point. Ramondre Stevenson, 25 carries, 120 yards, 4.8 yards per carry, and he also had a touchdown right here.
Play of the second quarter. Running play. It's Stevenson. Touchdown. Patriots strike first.
That was absolutely massive. Jacoby Brissett, 7 carries, 32 yards. Again, just having a quarterback that can get out. I'm not saying he's a burner, but the fact that he can go out and do things like that, that's what you absolutely love to see. He had a 16-yard run. Antonio Gibson, 7 carries, 18 yards. I didn't really expect too much from Antonio Gibson. I'm not expecting much from him running the football. I do expect him to have a couple of receptions at least a game, but he didn't have a single reception today. The most receptions for the Patriots today was KJ Osborne, who actually got the third most yards in the team. Our leading receiver today was, unironically, in the year 2024, Austin Hooper. 2 catches, 31 yards. Tyquan Thorne, 2 for 27. KJ Osborne, he missed Jacoby Brissett also missed him a couple of times, and he missed a catch on the first drive of the game. A high pass from Jacoby Brissett later in the game, but in that first drive of the game, KJ Osborne did miss a third down conversion on a catch that I think he should have caught. 3 for 21 for him. Hunter Henry 2 for 18. Pop Douglas 2 for 12. Definitely spent a lot more from Pop, but the passing offense today just wasn't good, and it was just heavily reliant on the run game overall. Jalen Poe gets his first career reception, 1 reception today for 6 yards, and Mondre 3 catches for 6 yards. The most targets on the team was actually KJ Osborne with 6. Polk had 1 target all game for 1 yard, and we didn't get any targets for Javon Baker, the 4th round pick, who I am relatively high on. And Mondre did fumble, but he did end up getting it back, thankfully. And like I said, recoveries from Jalen Hawkins and Marcus Jones. We had half a sack today from Juwan Bentley, who had 12 tackles, 2.5 sacks with number 99, Keon White. And that was, the Patriots had 3 sacks. Okay, so the third sack, that was credit to Keon White, 2.5, I should say. The other half went to Juwan Bentley. Jabril Peppers with 6 tackles, and we also had 1 quarterback hit from Juwan Bentley as well. Good game today from our guy. And now on to the Bengals. I mean, Joe Burrow 21 of 29, 164 yards. He just fell off today. I believe that is 3 sacks today from the Patriots, so their O-line didn't really do too much justice, I would say. It just felt like he was a tick off the running game. I mean, Zach Moss 9 for 44 and a touchdown. Obviously, having an OT Higgins sucks, but I feel like Yosivas played a pretty good game. But outside of that, the passing game wasn't really on. I think their rushing game wasn't on anything. It's just, this was the blur, I believe, for the Bengals. I mean, the Patriots defense I'm really high on. A lot of people were a lot less high on them, including probably myself as well, with no Matt Judon and no Christian Barmore, but this is still a really good defense with or without Bill Belichick. Shout out to DeMarcus Covington, first game as an NFL DC, first game as a coordinator at the NFL level, and he has a phenomenal game. He gives up 10 defense to a really good Bengals team. No matter how they played today, this Bengals team is still really good. They're still one of the best teams of football. They just didn't have a T. Higgins and the Patriots demon week 1 defense, apparently. Let us cook. Burrow today ran the ball 4 times for 15 yards. He had a couple nice extension plays, and he had a couple plays where he was preserving his body and not taking the big hit, not absorbing that. Obviously, that is very smart of him. Chase Brown, 3 carries, 11 yards. They traded Joe Mixon for a 7th round pick. Joe Mixon had a great game today, actually. Shout out to him. And Zach Moss and Chase Brown had 12 combined carries for 55 yards. So, yeah, that's pretty tough. And the receiving wise today, Jamar Chase, he got targeted 6 times, caught 6 of his passes for 62 yards, including a 28-yard catch on Juwan Bentley, which again, I still don't know why that was the case. Why that was the case. And then their second lead receiver was Andre Yosivas, 3 catches today for 26 yards, if I can read correctly. And Tanner Hudson at 2 for 18. I believe, was he the one that was fumbled? I remember it was a backup tight end for the Bengals. I think it was Tanner Hudson who dropped that pass that ended up leading to the Bengals going ahead and fumbling, and recovered by Kyle Duggar. Now, I don't know why I just went and now it's just not showing me the offensive stats, but let me go and whip up the good old Google and let's get back to that. Mike Gesicki 3 for 18, Tanner Hudson 2 for 18, Zach Moss 2 for 17, Chase Brown 3 for 12, Trenton Irwin 1 for 6, and Charlie Jones 1 for 5, who I mentioned earlier did fumble on that punt return, recovered by Jalen Hawkins and stripped by our guy, long snapper, former teammate of New England Patriots' newest head coach, Gerard Mayo. They had 1 sack today from Dax Hill, who was the safety converted to corner. Shout out to Patriots Daily. I was watching their podcast with Joe Goodberry, and he was mentioning how Dax Hill is now their like CB2 with Cam Taylor-Britt and Mike Hill in the slot, and him in the CB2 role, going from safety to corner. Now that they have guys like Geno Stone and Von Bell, so hey, definitely not a bad showing from the Bengals. I don't think pass defense wise, I mean, we got a couple of nice third downs. There was one play that really irked me at the end. Thankfully, we got to stop on that third down. But man, that one play where Pop had the first down to try to make a move and ended up being a couple yards short, that really hurt me. Leading tacklers today were both Logan Wilson and Dax Hill with 7 tackles. And that was basically it. They had 2 turnovers. Evan McPherson made his lone 51-yard field goal. And our guy, Joey Slye, made all 3 of his field goals, including the longest on 37. So shout out to him. Bryce Behringer, 5 punts, 250 yards, 50 average, 3 inside the 20. And for the Bengals punting wise, they had Ryan Recco, the rookie, who apparently has a absolute boot on him. 4 punts, 250 yards, 64.5 average punt. Like what? And then 1 inside of the 20. So the Patriots win. Overall, let's look at the stats and let's go ahead and wrap it all up. Team stats, we had more total yards, 289 to their 224. They had more passing yards, 154 to our 120. We had more rushing yards, 169 to their 70. They actually had more yards per play, which literally does not make any sense at all since we had more yards and rushing yards, but they had 4.7 YPC to our 4.5. We had 17 first downs to their 15. We were 6 and 15 on third down. They were 5 and 11. They were 0 for 1 on fourth down. We were 0 for 0. We had 64 plays. They had 48. They allowed 3 sacks. We allowed 1. We punted 5 times. They punted 4. We actually had 5 penalties today. Okay, so I actually didn't forget. I actually forgot to mention the other 3. 5 for 40, and they had 2 penalties for 10 yards combined. They lost 2 fumbles. We both didn't throw a single interception. And time possession was 34 minutes and 3 seconds to us and 25 minutes and 57 seconds to them. So at the end of the day, all I gotta say is let us cook. The Patriots are officially 1-0 in the Jacoby Brissett era. Running game was phenomenal. Defense was phenomenal. The passing game is still a question, but hopefully Drake May's here sooner rather than later. I'm predicting him to be playing with the Patriots by week 5. That is the first game that apparently Tom Brady will call in New England on Fox with the New England Patriots. Imagine him calling Drake May's NFL debut. We will absolutely be there. Pats are 1-0. GG's to the Bengals, and let's fucking go Patriots. But other than that, yo, that is the video. Make sure to go down below, drop a like, comment down below, sub up, Mr. Follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok. Your boy John. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm out, man. Peace.